sit close to you?
That's wonderful.
You like me to cuddle with you all the time, don't you?
Huh?
You like me to cuddle next to you all the
I
time.
like it, yeah.
And you're only happy when you can look at me, you tell
That's
me.
right.
He says, as long as I can look at you, I'm happy. Well, you met me 13 years and 4 months ago. We met December 2nd, 1998. And you were taking your first trip alone in your life, right?
Right.
And you were about 87 years old? About 87.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. First trip alone. Very healthy, very handsome. And you didn't like the food in that hotel, right?
I didn't like
The
what?
hotel in Rio. You weren't happy with the food they were giving us.
Dumb sandwiches.
One thing you can't mess with you is your food, isn't it?
Yeah.
You are very particular. So you went in to complain, and what'd they tell you?
They gave me a best buffet I ever had in my life.
Yeah, but when they were waiting to work it out, they told you to go sit down where?
Go and sit down in that empty chair.
At a table that I was sitting at. So Paul and I met. What? Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay, transfer it. Oh, that's a good idea. Okay. So they told you to come to sit at my table.
That's right.
And I'm very friendly, so I introduced you to the two other people I just met and my roommate, Jeannie. And do you remember telling me a lot of things about your life?
Yes, honey.
You told me all kinds of stories.
Yeah.
You've been to a headhunter's lodge, you remember that? You said you'd stayed all night?
I remember that, yeah.
Tell me about that headhunter's lodge. What
Yeah.
was that story?
The headhunters?
Yeah, what was that about?
Well, we made a trek into the jungle and into the headhunter country and stayed at their lodge all night.
What country was that?
That was in Borneo.
Borneo. And so you and Doris took a trek into the jungle
Yeah.
and stayed. And what did I would not have liked it for one main reason. What did they do it to you at night?
They put a padlock on so none of the headhunters would get into where we were sleeping.
Oh my God. I would have had hysteria if they locked me in because I can't stand it. Then you told about that war that broke out, didn't you?
Pardon me.
That's all right. You can't help your cough. Okay?
Okay.
So what about the war that broke out you told me about?
What about
That
what?
war that broke out when you and Doris were on a trip. There was a war.
There was a what?
A war.
Oh, a war. We were in the Middle East a couple times when one of the Middle East wars broke out.
Idi Amin.
Huh?
You were there when Idi Amin tried to take
Oh,
control.
we were in Africa when Idi Amin had his revolution.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was a
we
kind of
did.
big deal. What happened there?
Yeah.
What was going on with that?
Well, that kept things interesting.
You remember how you got out?
Actually, Betty Cornelius was with us on that trip.
Yeah, and her husband.
And the people that had arranged the trip sent a car to the border to pick us up.
And
get
the
us
people
out of
who
there.
went to the airport from Canada were killed. So you were lucky to be alive.
Yeah.
So your first trip alone in your life, you meet a girl, me, and what did you think about me when you met me?
About what?
What did you think about me back at the table when you met me that day in Rio?
I thought you were a good-looking girl.
And what else?
That's it.
Yeah, you saw that? Okay. Well, why did you end up asking me then 8 days later to take a cruise with you? Do you remember doing that?
You attracted me.
Exactly. You chased me. Would you admit you chased me?
I admit it.
Everywhere I went on the ship, Mr. Rich is looking for you.
Yeah.
So then, when I agreed on Devil's Island, and that was a long walk we took, right? We walked all the way around that.
Yeah.
You were 87. We walked all the way, the mile and a half around the island,
Yeah.
up and down and all that. And I agreed finally to go with you on a cruise.
Yeah.
let's see, what happened after that? I agreed to go. I knew I might be able to change my mind, but we're going to take that 45-day trip through the Silver Wind.
Yeah.
But our first actual date on that trip, we went to Barcelona. You remember that?
Remember where?
We went to Barcelona. Remember?
Barcelona.
We got a cab. You rented a cab and took me.
I don't remember Barcelona.
I don't mean Barcelona. Guess what I mean? Barbados.
Barbados.
Do you remember Barbados?
I remember
I
Barbados,
get words
yeah.
mixed up. Yeah. And we went to Barbados, and what did we do there? Remember?
We drove around the island.
Yeah. And the cab driver said, I said to the cab driver, you know, he's a very important man. You better take good care of him and make him happy. And the cab driver said, I don't have to do anything to make him happy. I just have to make you happy,
Yeah.
and he'll be happy. Is that
I
right?
remember that.
And what'd you say? You told him that's right.
I agreed with him.
And we just got back from Barbados, another trip around the island, didn't we?
Uh-huh.
And the people were so nice at that restaurant, they put happy anniversary because it was our first date. But first formal date. You're not sharing. I don't think this interview is going very well because you're not sharing much and all you're doing is coughing.
I'm not showing what?
Sharing much and all you're doing is coughing.
Yeah, I got a cough.
You do. What's wrong with you?
A cough.
Why do you have it?
I don't know.
I do. You got mucus in your lungs we can't get rid of. So you went from, okay, then the other thing we did on that first trip we met on, on the Silver Wind, we went up to, on Western Samoa on our first trip. We climbed the mountain and we went up to see where Robert Louis Stevenson had been buried. Remember
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
And the cab driver said, at your age, you can't go up that mountain. Nobody goes up at that age. And, well, we said, we do, right?
Right.
Then what?
But
He said,
yeah.
you want to take the easy way or the hard way? We said, we'll take the hard way. And we climbed up there, didn't we?
We did.
And we got up there, and what'd we like about it so much?
Hey, what?
What'd we like so much?
Well, he picked out the place with the best view on the whole island for his grave. And then he'd written his inscription for the grave before he died.
Right.
Yeah.
And we liked it, but we don't remember what it said, right?
I don't remember it, no.
But we both laid down on his grave. Do you remember?
Yeah,
we
we
were so
did.
tired we laid down.
We did.
Yeah. So we have climbed a lot of mountains since we've been together, haven't we?
We have, yeah.
And we've done a lot of things. The one mountain I went up when I was in Arizona by myself, and you thought I wasn't coming back. I'd been gone so long. I met a lot of
Yeah.
people. So he climbed up. You climbed up by yourself to find me.
Yeah.
Now you can't even climb to the dining room without a walker.
Yeah.
Life moves and energies disappear, right?
Right.
But until you were 98, you were driving regularly, doing all the grocery shopping,
Yeah.
going everywhere. And at 98, things shifted a little bit, right?
Right.
How does it feel to have been active all your life and now not be able to be very active?
Well, I hadn't thought about that.
Oh, okay. If you had to think about it, what might you say?
Huh?
If you had to think about it, what would you say?
I'll have to think about it, thinking about it.
You never think about anything negative, do you?
No.
No?
No.
Do you like living that your life has slowed down so much? Are you still happy to be here?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because you're so nice.
Because you want to be with me.
Yeah.
So it's worth having less energy,
Yeah.
coughing, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Have you enjoyed the cruise we're on now?
Yeah.
What do you like about it?
Well, it's restful.
Restful. You did say before we left that if I can just sit and watch the water
Yeah.
and see you, I'll be happy, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
So have you gotten all that?
Yes, I have.
What do you think about the way the people on the ship have acted toward you?
Oh, they're nice people.
Just nice?
Nice, yeah.
You feel comfortable coming back?
Yeah.
Do you want to come back next year?
I'll see about that next year.
Do you think you want to?
I might.
You might? Okay. Well, do you want to say anything else to me?
No.
You're not doing a good interview.
I'm not making a good interview.
No, you're not. You're disappointing me.
Yeah.
Nothing else you want to say?
I like traveling with you
Why?
because you're you.
Didn't you just tell me that out of I'm your best investment? You told me I'm your best investment.
Yeah.
And something about 1, 2, 3. What was that all about? I'm number 1, 2, 3 in your world. Is that right? Remember
1,
that?
2, 3, what?
I don't know. I think that's enough. I think that we need to say thank God we made this trip.
Thank God we made this
And
trip.
we have not had one. You haven't had one day that you've been sick in bed on the whole trip.
That's right.
Not one day. It's pretty amazing. What about the doctor? How do you like what happened with the doctor yesterday? Remember when you coughed so much at lunch?
Yeah, he came down to see me, but he didn't see me then.
We told him we didn't want to see him. We'd
Yeah.
call him. I think that's kind of historic on the trip. You actually looked like you were coughing yourself to death at lunch.
Yeah,
And you're fine, right?
right.
You told me you thought everybody on this ship had been wonderful to you.
They have.
They really have. You also told me if you're able, you want to come back. Do you still mean that? Because you signed up for next year.
I did.
Yeah, you know that.
I guess I must have signed up then.
Okay, you want to just give me a kiss and call it off? You're not remembering very well today.
No,
Okay?
thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. You
Thank
take
you.
care. I think that's enough for today because he's not doing good. He's not sharing enough. You're not too good at that interviewing anymore. Your days are over.
No, I'm not good at that.
You're not good at all. And you used to be wonderful.
I did?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I miss that old Paul.
Hmm.
That's all right. Whatever. Are you still interviewing? You still got it on? I just want to say this. Okay. There's only one thing I can say about life. When you've got a day, you take it, you make the most of it. And little by little, inch by inch, the energy can drift away. So if you miss the day, you can't go back and get it. I'm so thankful that Paul and I, in our 13 years together, have not missed many days. When we could dance, we danced, didn't we?
Right.
When we could go to a play, we went to the plays. Whatever we did full out, even if it was watching a movie. So now, a year and a half ago, Paul's driving has pretty much been curtailed, although he's driven a little. He can't go to the grocery anymore. He needs a walker. We've had hospitals. But we still make the best of every day. And as long as Paul's able, you've told me, as long as I'm able, as long as I'm alive, I'm going to live. And as long as I can look at you and see you and sleep with you, I want to be alive. That's what you told me. Am I right?
Right.
So even though he'd been an active businessman, climbed mountains, done everything, gone to sleep in headhunters, he's still happy in what we do have. And when we renewed our vows, we renewed them into the next level of life, which isn't going to be as active, but it's still going to be as loving. And it's a privilege to have time together.
Right.
That's it, right?
That's it, right.
You look like you're about to go to sleep.
I
Okay. So that's all we want to say, but it's been wonderful to be on this ship with such warm, loving people and feel taken care of. And we will be back as long as Paul's able. Thanks. That's good.
What ship?
Oh, the Seven Seas Mariner, of course. Or we'll go on the Voyager maybe next year. We're signed up for that because we're going to go to, we're going to start in Australia and go to, where are we going? China, yeah. Okay, well, anyway, it's been great. And Ephraim, you're wonderful. Thank you for taking your time for us. Okay?
Okay.
Be good. I'm going to put you to bed. You're tired. I'm going to go to the
Okay.
party alone.
What party?
There's a party up on 12. You going to go?
What are they doing at the party?
There's going to have a drink and tell people goodbye.
Oh,
You want to go or not?
I don't know. I'll think about it.
He's not talking today. We're